Congressman Case, recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As a proud member of this subcommittee, I rise in full support of this measure. I first want to join in expressing my own appreciation to the Chair and the Ranking Member, to our colleagues on both sides of the aisle, and to our staff on both sides of the aisle. This subcommittee is a great example of what can and should be. Our dialogue, our discourse is respectful, it is constructive when we disagree and when we agree, and we never question that each and all of us do care about our military and veterans. I want to adopt and supplement the remarks of my chair, but I'd like to take it in a slightly different direction and talk about the big picture of this bill. We, of course, have many, many great programs in this bill, and we've talked about the details here. We have them in front of us. We have talked about the funding levels, but what does it really all add up to at the end of the day? I'd like to make maybe a couple of observations. I think, first of all, military construction, of course, is about our military facilities, first and foremost, at the most basic level. And our military facilities are critical to our national defense. And I think we have learned, and if we haven't learned the lessons, that deferred maintenance, that putting off maintenance of our military facilities around the country, around the world, is damaging to our national defense. It is physically damaging to our service members and to all other people on our bases, and it certainly costs more at the end of the day to replace it. So I completely endorse the levels of deferred maintenance, fixing up and catching up, if I can put it that way, that are in this bill. It's been a long time since we were able to take a bill and really take on some of this deferred maintenance. This bill does deliver on those needs. Second, of course, military construction is not just physical infrastructure, it is about our service members. Let's remember that we have an all-volunteer force. They volunteer to serve. They have choices, and we cannot ask nor expect them to sacrifice a basic quality of life to serve, nor should we require that, nor do we need to. We can, in fact, provide them with a good quality of life through the military construction infrastructure process. Barracks, for example, are not just dwellings. We've all been in barracks, and we know that those are the homes for our service members. They're the homes, and this bill delivers on the needs of our service members. I think the third thing that military construction is about not just our service members, but their families. We similarly cannot ask nor expect our service members to sacrifice their family's quality of life, even if they are willing to do it themselves. And frankly, nor will their families accept that. And that means if we ask them to accept that, we will have fewer service members and a far less effective and motivated force. So items in this bill like child development centers, daycare, housing, employment opportunities are for spouses of service members. These are critical aspects of military construction that all add up to a solid military construction bill. It all matters, and I believe that this bill delivers in that big context of military construction. So many of the same themes are true when we come to our veterans and the VA part of this incredibly important bill, because all of this matters to our veterans as well. Today's service members are tomorrow's veterans, and if we do right by today's veterans, we will earn tomorrow's service members. So as we take care of our veterans, we not only take care of a promise to our veterans, but we take care of the next generations of our service members as well. And we have to, when we do that, recognize the diversity of our service members and veterans today and their families, and deliver the diversity of services wherever and however we can. And in this way, we've seen really a revolution over the last decade plus in how we deliver services for our veterans across our sprawling VA system, where our veterans live in urban areas, rural areas. This country, other countries, we owe them the same basic promise. And in all honesty, sometimes we have been slow to catch up in terms of new ways of delivering those services to where they live. So the old highly centralized model of we've got a couple of VA hospitals in the big cities, and and come to us and we'll take care of you. Well, that we all know that doesn't work, nor should it work that way. We have so many opportunities today for smaller, far more decentralized veterans health care, to take health care as a specific example of our services to our veterans. And we have seen really in COVID-19, we all know this in the big picture of health care throughout our country, all of these things are true in our veterans area as well. We have seen massive use of telemedicine, for example. We have seen remote doctor consultation, electronic medical records, a major part of this bill, and unfinished business is part of this. We have seen new areas where we can decentralize these services to small pods that we can stick in shopping centers, and we can provide a modicum of service there. So trying to deliver to our veterans where they are. I think this bill delivers on those needs as well. It catches us up with the next generation of health care, and we need to invest in these areas from our veterans' perspectives. And so there are so many, again, details in this bill, but when you take a look at the broad themes, I think we do, in fact, in this bill, deliver on the broad themes for our service members in military construction in terms of facilities, service members themselves and their families, and in terms of our veterans, to take our veterans' health care to the next generations and to really reap and learn the lessons and opportunities, frankly, of COVID-19 as we go forward. So with that, I thank the committees for its consideration of this bill, and I urge its passage.